Good evening. I call the meeting to order at 6:20 on June 23rd of 2026. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic of which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Secretary Triplett, can you please call the roll?
President Robinson, Vice President Bowens,
Present.
Secretary Triplett, present. Treasurer Gavin,
Present.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Present.
Trustee Bradley, Trustee Doyle,
Present.
Brother Vice President, a quorum has been established.
Thank you. We are now at the point on the agenda of approval of agenda items. Is there any questions or concerns regarding the agenda for our special session board meeting? Is there a motion on the floor? Can I have a motion to approve the approval of the agenda?
I so moved.
A second.
It's been moved by Secretary Triplett and supported by Trustee Rocket. Is there any questions or concerns? No. Okay, can we please call for the vote?
Vice President Bowens,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Doyle,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you so much. We are now at the section of our Board of Education norms for Benton Harbor area schools. We will treat each other with respect. We will listen to learn. We will refrain from side conversations. We will use our time wisely, starting and ending our meetings on time. We will challenge ideas, not people. We will ask questions when in doubt. There will be no surprises at the board table. We will practice the 7 norms of collaboration. Thank you. Those norms are pausing, paraphrasing, posing questions, putting ideas on the table, providing data, and paying attention to self and others, and presuming positive intention. Thank you. We are now at the section for public comment. Is there anyone on the public comment that would like to do public comment right now? Would you like for me to read? Oh, sorry. Yes. And before you come, I'm going to read the statement. Go ahead. Come on. I'm going to read the statement while you're preparing. The Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on district matters. Today, there are 2 areas for comment on the agenda of which you may decide when to speak. Public comment on agenda items and open public comment. We request that each interested participant complete a public participation form using legible writing to ensure that the responses are appropriate and properly used. Per Benton Harbor Area Schools Bylaw 0167.3, which governs board participation at the board meeting, we request that you preface your comments with your name, address, and group affiliation when appropriate. Each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 3 minutes, a 3-minute duration. And per our bylaws, no participant may speak more than once on the same topic until any other person has had the opportunity to speak on that topic. Participants may remove their mask when addressing the board. Participants should direct all comments to the board and not to the staff or other participants. The board will listen and take comments and questions under advisement and will not respond at this time. I, as Vice President, will refer your questions to the superintendent for research and response. Please ensure that your public participation form includes your contact information as requested. If you have any questions for the board or executive team that require follow-up, please email those directly to Secretary Renaldo.Triplett@bhas.org. Thank you. You may go. You have 3 minutes. Can you talk in the, sorry.
Is it on?
Nah, I two here. Praise God, Almighty God is one God, and He will fight for us. Dr. Chopin here, Swahili instructor for the Benton Harbor High School. I appreciate the school's investment in the Swahili program. This is a follow-up from last board meeting. I just completed the last certification requirements, and I am now just waiting to pay for the teacher certification. So when the new school year begins, my name can be added to the list of those very hardworking colleagues of mine striving for certification. If you want to congratulate me, you say Hongera Daktari Chopin. Hongera Daktari Chopin. And I will say back to you individually, Asante Sana, au Asanteni Sana as a group. I offered the board free Swahili lessons and I intend to follow up with information via email as mentioned. But I would like to take a quick moment to acknowledge the interest of trustee Raquette first, because she made sure to say publicly that she's interested in the Swahili lessons. Swahili learners are strongly encouraged to pick a Swahili name for themselves. All students love this part of the class. This practice is in the name of restorative justice, returning what was lost through cultural oppression and the transatlantic slave trade. Trustee Raquette, her name is Stephanie. Stephanie is Greek and it means crown. It's from the word Stephanos. This name is a symbol of honor, glory, and victory. Trustee Raquette, I do not know your family background. I do not know the story of your people. But if it is the same as mine, it is where your ancestors lost their name. Please accept the following Swahili name as a restorative practice act in honor of our ancestors and those who sacrificed their lives in the Middle Passage. I have chosen 3 names for you. If you do not like the choices, you are invited to pursue personally the task of reconstructing a lost culture and do not stop at a Swahili name. Because of DNA tests, I have chosen for myself an Igbo name, a Hebrew name, and I'm about to secure me a name from Sierra Leone. The names are, the first one is Tiara. Tiara, and it means crown. Tiara, it means crown. The next one is Taji. Taji, it means championship. And the next one, this is my favorite one, it's Kishada. Kishada. While it means kite, it implies that you are a person who uplifts others. You navigate life's storms and you're able to stay grounded while dreaming big. I wish you the best, and if God willing, we will see each other in Swahili class. Asanteni sana, sifu Mungu, hallelujah. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else for public comment on board agenda items? Therefore, being no further comments, we are now at the agenda, and I apologize, Superintendent Griffin, we're at your section, sorry.
Thank you, Vice President Bowens. I'm going to start going right through our board hearing document. Not the presentation, I'm sorry, the presentation portion. This executive summary presents the proposed Benton Harbor Area Schools budget for fiscal year 2026-2027. The budget is designed to support academic growth, student well-being, and operational stability while responding to the financial realities of declining enrollment and the expiration of federal ESSER relief funds. The proposed plan prioritizes resources that directly support teaching and learning, including core academic programming, student support systems, staff recruitment and development, school operations, and safe, well-maintained learning environments. It also reflects a commitment to responsible stewardship by aligning expenditures with the district's strategic priorities, monitoring long-term financial stability, and preserving transparency in how public funds are invested. This budget is more than a financial document. It is a statement of the district's values and direction. It is intended to sustain progress, protect essential services, and position Benton Harbor Area Schools to deliver high-quality educational experiences that prepare every student for success in school, career, and life. Our vision: Benton Harbor Area Schools is committed to the best in academics, athletics, and the arts. Mission. The mission of Benton Harbor Area Schools is to educate, guide, and inspire students by developing their skills and knowledge to be globally competitive. We believe every student deserves access to a high-quality, engaging, and affirming education. Student success is strengthened through strong partnerships among schools, families, and the community. Effective teaching, strong leadership, and continuous professional growth are essential to improved student outcomes. Safe, supportive, and well-managed schools are necessary for academic success, and personal well-being. Fiscal responsibility is a critical part of honoring public trust and sustaining opportunities for students. Last but not least, education should prepare students with the knowledge, character, and skills needed for college, career, and civic life in the 21st century. Our goal statements, academics, of course, to increase student achievement through rigorous instruction, targeted supports, and continuous improvement in teaching and learning. Learning environment, strengthen a positive district culture through consistent implementation of systems and supports that address academic, behavioral, social, and emotional needs. Personnel and leadership. Recruit, develop, support, and retain talented staff and leaders committed to excellence for every student. Facilities and operations. Maintain safe, efficient, and fiscally responsible operations that support high-quality learning environments. Communication. Engage students, families, staff, and community stakeholders through clear, timely, and transparent communication. And of course, our introduction. Purpose and importance. The purpose of this budget plan is to align district resources with the educational priorities of Benton Harbor area schools and to ensure that every dollar is used strategically in support of students, staff, and schools. This plan reflects the priorities of district leadership and the Board of Education by balancing instructional needs, operational demands, and long-term fiscal responsibility. A well-developed budget is essential because it translates district goals into action. It communicates how Benton Harbor area schools will invest in student achievement, talent development, school climate, and organizational effectiveness while remaining accountable to the community it serves. Overview of the current situation. Benton Harbor area schools is developing this budget in a period of transition and careful planning. The district continues to face enrollment decline and the expiration of ESSER funds, which require a more disciplined approach to sustaining programs and services that were previously supported by temporary federal dollars. At the same time, the district remains focused on strengthening academic outcomes, improving student supports, and preserving safe and effective school operations. The fiscal year 2026-2027 budget is intended to address these realities with a balanced approach that is student-centered, transparent, and grounded in responsible financial decision-making. At this time, I'll turn it over to my colleague.
Well, before we go any further, I'm sorry to interrupt. We're going to try to get this screen on so the public can watch. And Treasurer Gavin had her hand up, sorry.
Yes, thank you. With this being a budget hearing and we have a responsibility to make sure that the public has a copy of these documents. How can we make sure, is it available online? Are there printed copies? Where can the public find these documents? The agenda is now, the links are now for anyone with the link. So the public should be able to access it through the link on the agenda. Please let me know if it's not available. So through the Benton Harbor Schools page. Click here to view the agenda. Okay. Okay, this is good. Thank you. It's at the top. All right. Just in case some folks may be new to this process, they might need to know where to find it. We don't have any copies, do we? No, I provided a copy for each board member, but I don't have any copies available for the public at this time. Okay. It'll be available on
I'm
the
gonna check
screen.
my- so-
Yes, and once it's voted, it is a part of our, transparency reporting. Okay, thank you. I'll turn it back over to you, Vice President Bowens.
I'm sorry, and Dr. Griffin,
And
yes,
Dr.
I
Griffin.
apologize. I just wanted everybody in the public to see it. That's okay, but just,
To number 3, foundational, this is where we're not.
and it's a little delay. I don't even see my mouse, but I see it on TV. Sorry, you gotta go back to the other part, go back to the other.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry. Thank you, and what page did you say?
Right there, a foundation allowance, right there. Yep, number 3.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Farquhar, I'll turn it over to you at this time.
Foundation allowance, current allowance with historical reference. The state foundation allowance is the district's major source of revenue, which was established in 1994 through Proposal A. Below is the table of the historical foundation allowance since Proposal A, along with the summary of the government's proposals for the 26-27 school year. The 26-27 proposal from our state government foundation allowance per student is currently $10,050. There's a 2.5 increase at the state that would change that amount by $250 per student. The 26-27 proposed foundation allowance is $10,300 per student. Below that is the historical trends of the foundation allowance according to school year. And on the next page shows the exact amounts of the foundation allowance from 2014 up until now. This budget is moving forward with the assumption that the foundation allowance of $10,300 per student will be the executive branch's recommendation. Student enrollment. District enrollment continues to decline as the historical trend in the state FTE, that's full-time equivalent students. The state aid FTE reflects a steady multi-year reduction in the number of students served. The chart shows enrollment decreasing from 2,668 students in 2013-2014 to 1,204 students in 25-26. With only brief periods of modest stabilization and overall long-term downward trajectory. This pattern has important budget implications because enrollment directly affects state aid revenue and the district's capacity to sustain programs and staffing levels over time. For fiscal year 2026-27, the budget assumes that the state FTE of 1,195, based on the projected blend of fall 2025 and spring 2026 count periods and consideration of the school of choice application activity. The district's enrollment assumption is intentionally cautious and reflects the need to align expenditures with the current revenue conditions. As a result, the budget is built to balance academic priorities and operational needs while responding prudently to continued enrollment pressure.
Or have anybody that can run this so we can read this? We don't know where you are on here. Is it like technology from your table that as you're going through the screen?
I can stand at the, I don't know. Is there a cord to that screen? How are you? casting to that screen.
Yeah, because we.
But if I can cast remotely. Okay. Go ahead. Oh, same thing. Okay, thank you.
Disconnecting?
Yeah.
Is he the only one from technology here?
Jeff was here. I'm not sure where he is now.
Go ahead, sorry.
Sorry.
Okay.
Cause I can sit over there. It'll be better for me to just plug in.
We're doing it from-
Sam couldn't connect. Let me just sit over there. Do you want me to reread the student enrollment section where we left off?
You could start from the beginning so the public can see it and be able to follow this screen that they're watching. I haven't been able to, I've just been looking, trying to find stuff.
Okay.
You want me to reread this section? I really did.
No, ma'am, I
Oh.
heard that. I'm just clicking the screen for them to,
Oh,
so,
the foundation. No,
yeah, follow.
Okay, we're at the foundation allowance, number 3. Current allowance with historical reference. The state foundation allowance is the district's major source of revenue, which was established in 1994 through Proposal A. Below is a table of the historical foundation allowance since Proposal A, along with the summary of the government's proposals for 26-27. The 26-27 proposal of foundation allowance per student. The current amount is $10,050 per student. The executive branch of the state government is proposing an increase of 2.5%, which is $250 per student. And the proposed foundation allowance for 26-27 is $10,300 per student. Next, there is a graph showing the foundation allowance per school year and how historically that has increased over the years. Next, we have a chart showing the year and the foundation allowance and the increase or decrease amount. This budget assumption for 26-27 is according to the executive recommendation of the foundation allowance increasing to $10,300 per student. Number 4, student enrollment. District enrollment continues to decline, and the historical trend in state aid FTE. FTE means full-time equivalent students. Reflects a steady multi-year reduction in the number of students served. The chart shows enrollment decreasing from 2,668 students in 23-24 to 1,204 students in 25-26, with only brief periods of modest stabilization and overall long-term downward trajectory. This pattern has an important budget implications because enrollment directly affects student aid revenue and the district's capacity to sustain programs and staffing levels over time. For fiscal year 26-27, the budget assumes a state aid FTE of 1,195 based on the projected blend of the fall 2025 and spring 2026 count periods, and consideration of school of choice application activity. The district's enrollment assumption is intentionally cautious and reflects the need to align expenditures with current revenue conditions. As a result, the budget is built to balance academic priorities and operational needs while responding prudently to continued enrollment pressure. Historical trend.
Director Brock, Secretary Triplett has a question.
So what you just read is for the fiscal year?
Yes. And here are the historical trends of our state FTE amounts over the years. The first is a chart of the amounts, and then you have the actual numbers down below. Budget assumption for 26-27. Per pupil state FTE at 1,195 on the 90%, 10% split for the fall 26, spring 26. Fall 25 and spring 26 count. We also considered the number of school of choice applications received. Revenue sources. The 2026 revenue expectations are as follows. Local revenue, $8,944. $8,944,131. I'll repeat, local revenue, $8,944,131. State revenue, $10,719,161. Federal revenue, $4,718,824. Incoming transfers and others, $419,000, for a total revenue budget expectation for 26-27 at $24,801,116. Expenditures. The 2026-27 expenditure projections for personnel, salary and benefits, $15,987,562. Capital expenditures, $1,378,258. Other, $135,399. Purchase services, $11,504,404. And supplies, $1,384,224, for a total expenditure projections for 26-27 at $30,389,847. General fund by function code. The first column shows our fiscal year 24-25 audited amounts. The second column shows year-to-date as of 5/31/2026. And the third column shows our fiscal year 26-27 budgeted amounts. And as stated earlier, the projected revenue for 26-27 is $24,801,116. The total expenses projected for 26-27 is $30,389,847. And based on that information, we are looking at a fund balance at the end of 2026-27 at $10,989,133. The highlights of the general fund budget assumes a $250 per student increase in the state foundation allowance and continued reduction in the district's blended student enrollment. Michigan Department of Education requires at least 5% of unrestricted revenue as a fund balance. Next, you'll see the fund balance.
Excuse me.
Yes,
Director Brock Carter, could you translate that into a dollar amount?
the 5% of unrestricted revenue.
Yes, please.
I need to grab a calculator. Just for clarification, that will be our unrestricted revenue. So that will be mostly our local and state aid. Our federal revenue is from grant funds, and normally that is restricted to only those grant expenses.
You were saying the fund balance, there was a 5%.
Yes, I'm doing that calculation. I just want to kind of give a preface on the numbers that I'll be using to calculate that 5% will be our local and state revenue because our federal revenue is normally restricted.
Okay.
So 5% of our restricted funds for 26-27 is $9,480,089.
Question.
Thank you.
Yes,
Okay, so in 24, 25, 24,097,514. Okay,
correct.
so this last year, there was a $9 million drop.
About
See that you said the fund balance, if you said projected 25, 26. We finished this fiscal year. And so are you saying that it dropped $9 million?
I'm saying close to 8 million, yes. That is the projected amount. We'll know the exact amount after our audited financial statements. But my estimated projection is going to show us about 7.8 million deficit for 25-26.
You know, when you say that word deficit, I guess I need to look at this intensely and from 25 to 27. So we spent an additional $14 million over budget according to your projection.
No,
And so
Lost
what
100
26, 27 projected the extent that we would have.
well, yes, in 26-20 with both, yes, with the 7 million deficit for 25-26 and the additional deficit that's proposed for 26-27. Yes, that is correct. That's a combination of both that will take us to the 10 million.
So do you have in this budget specifically what the additional $14 million was spent on step by step? Or you don't have to do that right now, but that's something that we need to know because that's huge.
Yes, I will be able to tell you exactly after our audited financial statements. Because that is just a projection. After our audit, it may not be as much as anticipated. So I want to make it clear that that is a projected amount. It has to be finalized by our auditors before it can be considered the fund balance.
That's very concerning. $14 million, and I don't know what for. I can't see it. I can't see anything that would even be close to $14 million. And if it's projected 10, some have to cease and desist. So I would like that clarification on that as soon as possible, where you have that information.
Our audit usually is done in September, so I can have that information as early as October. Cause I don't want to give you the wrong information or anything projected that's not the final numbers.
Right, so you got projected for 25, 26, and then you done projected it's that we overspent. Supposedly, we've overspent. That much money.
That's correct, based on our projected revenue.
So, okay. So Director Brockharter, on purchase services, what exactly is purchase services?
That would be our staff employees and any other contracts that we have in the district.
And can you repeat that amount that we're using on purchase services?
The budgeted amount for 26-27.
Yes.
Sure, $11,504,404.
And those are required. Are those required or?
Each position is different. I'm not gonna say that it's not required, but it's most of it is staff, and then any other contracted services that we may do, as such as a repair to something and we hire a contractor instead of using our own staff. That is also a purchase services.
Thank you.
I got another question.
Oh.
So,
So, go ahead. Trustee Gavin had her hand up.
Just wondering about the time, being that our next meeting starts at 7 and it's 6:57, what adjustments will we need to make in order to accommodate the board questions and the community questions?
we were half an hour late, so we should extend it to the half an hour.
I'm asking in terms of us having a scheduled work session, like what do we need to do to make sure
Like
that we are
we're
within
scheduled to start
policy?
at 7 o'clock. So do we need to reschedule this or?
But if you were a half an hour getting set up, we would probably have to extend, we need that half an hour, we can't just blow this off. This is this must be done today by law. So we need to be able to go through,
So,
have an extended half an hour, whatever time we lost over.
I'm good with whatever. I'm
Yes,
just
is it-
wondering what policy wise, legally wise, what do we have to do to accommodate your requests? That's all I'm asking.
I don't think there's anything, we just finished the budget.
No.
So we can just go over and start
Yes.
our other meeting
we'll
later?
we need to start at 7:20 at the other meeting.
Okay.
And we'll each get 2 minutes to ask questions and allow Director Brockharter to finish the presentation, and then we'll ask questions. So if you have a question, write it down and let's get it quick and done. Sorry. And I apologize.
No problem. The fund balance history chart is next. So as you can see, 2014-25, we were quite negative fund balance. We increased quite a bit and now is trajecting down. That is for the general fund. Next is the sinking fund budget for 26-27. We are projecting $2.5 million in revenue to the sinking fund and $2 million in expenses. That will give us a $500,000 increase in the fund balance for the sinking fund. And the sinking fund is projected to end at 26-27 at $8,215,995. The food service fund is projected to have revenue of $1,370,000
and expenses of the same, with the zero change in the fund balance. And the fund balance in the full service fund will end at $205,762. Student activity funds, we would like to increase our fundraising efforts throughout the district. So we are projecting a revenue of $5,000 and expenses of $25,000. Because we would also like to put policies in place so that our student body, staff know how to access student activity funds and are spending student activity funds on student activities. So that's why we are projecting to spend $25,000 in expenses with a decrease of $20,000 in the student activity fund, which would still leave the fund balance at the end of 26-27 at $76,975. I'll turn it back over to Dr. Griffin.
In conclusion, the fiscal year 2026-2027 budget reflects a deliberate effort to align district resources with Benton Harbor area schools' educational priorities while responding to real fiscal pressures. Across the report, the major themes are clear. Foundational allowance revenue is expected to increase. Enrollment continues to decline. Revenues remain below projected expenditures in general fund, and the district must continue managing resources carefully to protect long-term financial stability. This budget supports core district functions, including instruction, student support, operations, transportation, food service, and facilities priorities, while also recognizing the need for disciplined planning after the expiration of ESSER funding. Although the district has made important progress in strengthening its financial position over time, the projected general fund deficit signals that ongoing monitoring, cost control, and strategic decision-making will remain necessary during fiscal year 2026-2027. The proposed budget is intended to preserve essential services, maintain safe and effective learning environments, and position the district to continue serving students well despite revenue and enrollment pressures. It reflects a balanced approach that is student-centered, operationally responsible, and grounded in the district's commitment to academic growth, staff support, and transparent stewardship of public funds. So our call to action is as follows. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the fiscal year 2026-2027 budget resolutions as presented. Approval of this budget will authorize the district to move forward with a financial plan that supports student learning, sustains essential operations, and provides a clear framework for monitoring revenue, expenditures, and fund balance throughout the fiscal year.
Thank you. Is there any questions?
Yes, I do have a question.
Go ahead.
A comment of thanking Director Brock Carter for pulling this together alongside Dr. Griffin. The question is in regard to the student account. So what was it, like 100,000 or something in that account? And we're wanting them to fundraise, and just correct me if I heard it wrong, with 70,000 in the bank. We want to start a trend of fundraising. So we're not saying they have to fundraise for every student activity expenditure, but we would like to start a trend of fundraising throughout our district so that student activity funds can be spent and also replenished for future student activities. Gotcha. I guess for me, I'd like to see, like when we get a grant, the grantor expects us to utilize the grant, right? And so if we put money aside for student activities, I would like to see us utilizing the monies for student activities. I do get that fundraising is, it's a skill and it's all of that, but if the money is sitting in the bank is getting rich, we're not. The bank is the one able to give loans off the money sitting in the bank while kids and staff are out there trying to figure out how to make ends meet, so if we have 70,000 sitting in there, I would like for us to be looking for ways to invest in those student activities. So that's just just a different distinction in a way that I would see that particular balance because we're here to serve and educate our kids. And I think that the money could do a lot more justice investing in them. Outside of that, I do appreciate you pulling this together in the amount of time that you had and making sure that we are informed.
I have,
Can you speak into your mic for those in Zoom land?
yeah, I'm looking at this and, I look at it every year and it just seems like you know, if the student enrollment is decreasing and we have almost $11 million in purchase services, why are we still paying EduStaff so much and we don't have the same amount of students? Who's monitoring it? Who's monitoring transportation? And so those are the kind of things I think that is very, very important that we as a Board of Education be able, that we keep our eye on. Also, a forensic audit. I would like to know how that looked. What would have to happen in all divisions, all departments, because these $4 million, $7 million, from 24 million all the way down to 10, $14 million. Where? I mean, I can't see it. So that's one thing that I would like to start off from the $24 million, when it was $24 million in there. What is it that we paid to have this projection being a decrease of almost $14 million? And that's what, because we must watch that. Also, as my question, we've talked previously about this, the general fund, and then our title monies and all of our other monies and what have you, that take care of loads and loads of positions. It doesn't come out of our general fund. I think it is very, very clear. I know you call all of it the general fund, but there is actual general fund. There's a certain section of this budget that if it's not taken care of, it put us in a deficit. And so we're talking about making cuts. And if we're decreasing, then we might have to decrease up top. We might have to combine some of these positions and sending out millions of dollars for directors and superintendents and assistant superintendents and all these different things, and our numbers are steady going down. And so that's some serious conversation of, people just having $100,000 salaries, and then every time you go to a point where it looked at for things for kids, when it comes to activities, a little bit of money is over here. It's hard for them to get a little bit of money over here. And this is what we're about, is educating children and educating and making sure that our children have a quality education, which is a full education. So I do understand that. I do need some more clarification, and I would like to schedule a meeting with you if at all possible.
Sure.
All right, thank you.
Okay, our budget hearing slides for today, and we are basically reiterating the information we went over in the budget plan. Dr. Griffin, would you like to start with the first? Okay.
You can see from the budget here inside, our vision statement, Benton Harbor Area Schools is committed to the best in academics, athletics, and the arts, starting with diversifying academics, retaining and valuing staff, and then providing enriching student activities. Budget year goals. Your budget year goals.
The budget hearing goals are to provide summary information on proposed budgets, comply with the Uniform Budgeting and Accounting Act, receive input from Board of Education and public on proposed budgets. The budget approves each function. Function is the basic account identifier for expenditures. It describes the activity for which a service or material is acquired. The basic function categories operated by most school districts are instruction, pupil support, instructional staff support, general administration, business service, operations and maintenance, transportation, central services, community services, and facilities acquisition. Budgets are presented by fund: general fund, food service fund, sinking fund, and student activities fund. The budget goals are to increase academic performance, increase culture and climate for students and staff, increase community, family engagement opportunities. The general fund is our primary operating fund and organizational unit. It consists of revenues, expenses, and a fund balance. As stated in the budget plan, our total revenue sources proposed for 26-27 is 24,801,116. Our proposed expenditures for 26-27 total 30,389,847. General fund balance at the end of 24-25 was $24,097,515. The general fund balance is defined as net assets or rainy day fund. MDE recommends that 5% of state revenue remains in net assets at the end of the year, maintaining the healthy fund balance. Summary of the general fund. Beginning balance, 16,577,000. Revenue estimate, as presented earlier, 24,801,000. Expenses, 30,389,000, for an ending fund balance of $10,989,000,000. The net change in the fund balance is a decrease of 5.588 million for 26-27. There's supposed to be a summary here. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry, it took a minute to pop up on my end. But here's a summary: budget by function code. Again, as stated in the budget plan, we have our audited amounts for fiscal year 24-25. Our year-to-date actual for ending May 31st, 2026, and our fiscal year 26-27 budget amounts. Our 25-26 fiscal year end budget revision. We are updating revenue and expenditure accounts, utility and other maintenance account adjustments, and other adjustments to reflect our actual revenue and expenditures for 25-26. And that is in your package that I gave you. You will see the 25-26 final budget revisions. It will be like a blue color. I'm sorry if you mixed it up, it was right on top.
Is it this one?
Yeah, there's one for 26-27 there, and then there's the final 25-26. So there's two that look alike, but they're slightly different. So for the 25-26 final year end budget revision, we are budgeting revenue for the general fund at $22,429.61. We are budgeting expenditures at $29,949,292. That will give a ending fund balance to the general fund at June 30th, 2026 at $16,577,864. For food service, 25-26. Our total revenue is estimated at $1,340,000. Our expenses are at $1,441,996. That will give an ending fund balance for the food service fund at $70,203,000.
70
I'm
million.
sorry, $70,203. That would be a heck of a food service fund, wouldn't it? We'd have lobster and steak every day. For the sinking fund, got it mixed up now. Here we go. For 25-26 for the sinking fund, total revenue $2,123,000. Total expenses $1,302,037 to give an estimated fund balance for the sinking fund at $7,694,167 at June 30th, 2026. Student activities, revenue was $2,506. We didn't have any expenditures, so we will have an estimated fund balance at $96,975. And like I said previously, we are putting things in place so that we can spend those funds on the students. A lot of those student activity funds are left over from, I believe there's even Morton Hill on the list. So they are not, current student activities that have generated this revenue. So, but we want the current students to take advantage of it. So that's why Dr. Griffin and I will be putting policies in place and speaking with our principals so that whatever's left, wherever it came from, is being used for those same purposes.
Trustee Rocket.
Go ahead, I'll let you finish.
Okay. Approved 2026 millage rates, state levy 6 mills, operating millage 18 mills, sinking fund 2 mills, total K through 12 is 26 mills. The sinking fund. Here are the allowable expenses for the sinking fund. All are listed there, which we can use these funds for. The sinking fund beginning balance is estimated at 7.65 million. We are estimating 2.5 million in revenue, 2 million in expenses. For an ending fund balance in the sinking fund for 26-27 at 8.19 million with a change of 500,000 as an increase. Food service fund. Here are all the allowable expenses for the food service fund. And the beginning balance of that fund is estimated at about 70,000. The revenue estimate is 1.37 million. Expenses the same with the ending balance, fund balance of 70,000 and a zero net change. Student activities, 96,900. I'm sorry, is that right? Yep, 96,900 beginning balance, revenue estimate 5,000, expense estimate 25,000, ending balance 76,900 with a net change decrease of 20,000. Next steps, board approval, 25-26 fiscal year end budget revision resolution, and a 26-27 initial general appropriation budget resolution. Thank you.
Is there any questions for Director Brock Carter?
Just a quick question, the beginning fund balance of 96,000 for the student activity fund and the expense estimate of 25,000, ending fund balance of 76,000, are you saying that they have access to 96,000 or they have access to 25,000 only?
They have access to 96,000.
Okay.
That is the expense estimate. As you know, we can make budget modifications throughout the year if our expenses exceed that amount.
When you say the expense estimate, you're estimating that they will only spend the 25,000, but they can spend 96,000?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
So Director Brock Carter, I remember last year we found out that we had a CD with 500,000 in it. Are there any other CDs
Yes.
dedicated to like student activity, or do our staff need to be creative?
We only have that one that's dedicated to student activity, but we have CDs that draw interest, and that is the other section of the transfer section. The 419,000 that's in our general fund budget is interest alone for all of our accounts, including CDs.
Okay, so our teachers can be creative and innovative and use some of those CDs that were dedicated to like teaching Benton Harbor history or certain things of that component as an activity.
Yes, if we have that on the books, if that's the intent and purpose, it can be used for that at any time.
All right, thank you. Is there any further questions?
Just want to make a comment. If you look at the student activity fund, I'm sure those funds were from buildings that were open. They are no longer open, and so we wouldn't get those revenues anymore. And basically, I can remember doing all that fundraising and not spending all of the money. So that money would go in to help build this fund. And it was fundraising. It was fundraising that raised most of this money. And so if we do want it to continue, we do have access to 96 million. But if we spend all of that or most of it, we won't have a fund. We won't have any money in our student activity. But so it's 96,000. Yeah, I wish it was. If it's almost like the junior senior prom, the juniors always raise the money for the seniors prom so that they would have a nice prom, and then the next year. So you kind of build on it. So I understand what you're saying.
And I'm glad to be able to provide information that that money is still there.
Yes. Good.
Thank you. If there is no other questions, Dr. Carter, I'm sorry, Ms. Brock Carter, we would like to say thank you so much for your presentation. I'm sorry, what was that? Okay, thank you so much. Is there anything else you need to say or?
Something in there.
Okay, thank you so much.
Anyone?
Okay, we are now back to our agenda. Thank you. Is there any public comment on our agenda item?
Or, we have to allow for public Q&A as well.
Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry. Is there any public questions regarding the hearing? On the budget hearing? Yes. Can you come to the mic for public record? And just say your name.
Deanna Chopin. I just wanted to make sure I heard that last comment correctly about teachers using funds to teach historical information to students. Was that the activities budget?
No, it's oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got it wrong.
Yeah. Director Barcata, sorry.
Thank you, Vice President Bowens. We had a family donate money to the district many years ago, and we put it in a CD. So that memorial fund is still in existence and is available for the intent and purpose of that fund.
Okay, can I ask what that fund is for?
I'd have to
Okay, that's okay.
share it with you later, but I'm more than happy to share with you the guidelines around that fund.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Is there any further questions on the budget hearing, public? No, we do have open public comment in a minute. Therefore, being no further questions on the budget hearing, we are now open for public comment. Do I need to read the statement again? I was hoping you said no. So let's go. The Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on district matters. Today, there are 2 sections on the agenda to comment. What you may decide when to speak. Public comment on agenda items and open public comment. We request that each interested participant complete the public participation form using legible writing to ensure responses are appropriate and properly focused. Per Benton Harbor Area School Bylaws 0167.3, which governs Benton Board participation at board meetings, we request that you preface your comments with your name, address, and group affiliation when appropriate. Each statement may be made by a participant shall be limited to 3 minutes. Once that's no participant may speak more than once on the same topic until any other person has had the opportunity to speak on that topic. Participants may remove their masks when addressing the board. Participants should direct all comments to the board and not to staff or other participants. The board will listen, take comments and questions under advisement and will not respond at this time. I, as Vice President, will refer your questions to the superintendent for research and response. Please ensure that your public participation form includes your contact information as requested. If you have any questions for the board or executive team that require follow-up, please email those directly to Secretary Renato.Triplett@bhas.org. Thank you. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Sifu Mungu, praise God. This is Dr. Chopin, your Swahili instructor. The acronym FBA stands for Foundational Black American. Most of the district's student population can be described as foundational Black Americans. Right now, I'm writing a book. The title is Swahili and the FBA, the Royal House of Judah wrapping a pure language beyond the shogi. The Royal House of Judah wrapping a pure language beyond the shogi. What is the shogi? The shogi is a pit. When my forefathers were brought here to the New World, they were stored in the bottom of a boat for 2 to 3 months that it took them to arrive. That place at the bottom of the boat is called the pit. In Swahili, it is called the shogi. As a Swahili instructor, a Black historian, a biblical scholar, and a mental health practitioner, it is my professional opinion that when the God of the universe said in Zephaniah 3:9 that he would return a pure language to his people, and believe you me, there are many students in this school who told me personally they believe they are the chosen of God. And I believe that Swahili is that pure language. When you get to the Swahili class, we can discuss it in more detail. But as it relates to student recruitment, I want to emphasize this third time the importance of researching what is the culture and the climate of the students. What are their values? They have their own values. I know you all are busy. I am willing to lead or just sit on a panel to scope out and research the values of our students. We need to analyze those values. We need to encourage the positive or community building values and provide training and viable options to replace those non-community building values. And the Cosmos will direct our students back home to the Benton Harbor area schools. Asante Sana, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is there any additional public comments? Therefore, being none, is there a motion on the floor? Well, yeah, is there a motion, any board comments? Is there a motion on the, therefore being none, is there a motion on the floor to adjourn the meeting?
Support.
It's been moved by Secretary Triplett, supported by Trustee Doyle. Mr. Secretary Triplett, can you call for the vote?
Vice President Bowens,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Doyle,
Yes.
motion carried.
The meeting is adjourned at 7:30 PM. Okay, we got it. Do you guys want to take a 5-minute break or? PM, June 23rd, 2026. Can we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Again?
Yes, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for justice and justice,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Secretary Triplett, can you please call for the roll? Please do the roll call.
Vice President Bowens,
Here.
Secretary Triplett, present. Treasurer Gavin,
Present.
Trustee Rocket Martin. Trustee Doyle,
Present.
to the Vice President, a quorum has been established.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as is?
Second.
Been moved by Secretary Triplett, second by Trustee Treasurer Gavin. Is there any questions or concerns? Therefore, being none, Secretary Triplett, can you call for the vote?
Vice President Bowens.
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Doyle,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you. We are now at the section of the review of the board norms. We will treat each other with respect. We will listen to learn. We will refrain from side conversations. We will use our time wisely, starting and ending our meetings on time. We will challenge ideas that people, we will ask questions when in doubt. There will be no surprises at the board table. We will practice the 7 norms of collaboration, which are pausing, paraphrasing, posing questions, putting ideas on the table, providing data, paying attention to self and others, and presuming positive intentions. We are now at the section for public comment on agenda items. Therefore, being no public comment on agenda items, we are reviewing our meeting minutes from work session 5/26/26. Is there any questions or comments regarding those meetings?
So we just reviewing, right?
Yes.
Looking up.
If you see any corrections or,
You can get that to them before the next meeting for approval of the.
I do have a question.
yes, Treasurer Gavin?
Who is doing our minutes now?
Right.
There has not been anybody named as a substitute secretary or anybody at this.
Trustee,
gonna be hard.
Superintendent, is there a substitute or is it all hands on deck?
So I guess the question is,
That person needs to be.
do we have someone who is subbing in the role of the administrative assistant for the superintendent and the administrative assistant for the Board of Education from central administration? Is that yes or no?
No,
Okay,
I
so
am taking the minutes. I have the recording here.
That's not what we're asking. What we're asking is somebody in that position. And we need somebody in that position as soon as possible because that's not your responsibility.
I concur. I'll work on the secretary treasurer.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there any additional questions on meeting comments? Meeting from May 26th. Therefore, we are now at the section of board business. For policy 0167.2, the board may by means of a roll call vote, meeting closed session, one closed to the public for the following persons. To consider this dismissal, suspension, or discipline, or hear complaints or charges brought against, to consider or periodic personal evaluation of a public officer, staff member, or individual agent. If the named person requests a closed hearing, a majority vote is required. Michigan Compile Law 15268(1)(a). And also B, it was for policy 016.72, it's the same for A and B. The board by means of a roll call vote may meet in closed session, one closed to the public for the following purposes: to consider the dismissal, suspension, or discipline, or hear complaints or charges brought against, or to consider a periodic personal evaluation of a public officer, staff member, or individual agent. If the named person requests a closed hearing, a majority of the vote is required. Is there a motion to end open session and go to closed session to discuss board business A and B?
I so move.
It's been moved by Secretary Triplett. Is it?
Support.
And it's supported by Trustee Doyle. Can we please call for the vote?
Vice President Bowen,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Doyle.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. We are now going into closed session at 7:47. For those that are in Zoom land, it will be a brief moment. And for those of you in the audience, it will be a brief moment. Call the meeting back to order. Is there a motion? I call the meeting back to order at 10:29. Is there a motion to close session, in closed session, and come back into regular session?
Come on.
Yeah.
It's been supported by Trustee Doyle. It's been moved by Trustee Doyle and
Aye.
supported by Trustee Reckler. Secretary Triplett, can you call for the vote?
Vice President Bowen,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Doyle,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, thank you so much, my lovely trustees. And we are now at the part of our agenda. And that would lead us
To get a motion
to get a
to
motion
adjust.
to amend the agenda. Is there a motion on the floor to amend the agenda? Where we're voting on business and finance F1 and board comments?
So move. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's been moved by
Brother.
trustee.
Did we vote on
Oh.
coming back?
We got to vote on coming back into.
Sorry. Please forgive me. Secretary Triplett, can you call for the vote? It's been a long night. Those of you in Zoom land. Secretary Triplett, can you call for the vote?
The way in which you did it was, you voted for us to end closed session.
Yes.
And for us to go back into open session.
Right.
And
Yes.
so we are back into open session
Yes. And it was a motion on the floor to amend the
agenda.
agenda. So you need to call for the vote.
For both of those, or those are?
I'll do it separate. Just go
Okay.
ahead. Let's open it back up. I move that we go into open session for our work session with adjusting the agenda, only voting on staff reports that are listed on the agenda, which is SS1 and F1 and F2.
Huh?
Okay. Stepping stones. Okay. I support.
It's been supported by moved by Secretary Triplett, supported by Trustee Reckler.
I got a question.
Okay.
Trustee Doyle has a question.
Dr. Griffin, what do we need to vote on tonight?
all of this.
This one, for, at two, and really, the budget, yeah, F1.
Okay.
The three things he just mentioned,
Okay,
yeah, those three things, just those three.
okay. Thank you. That was my question.
Okay, Secretary Triplett, can you call for the vote?
Vice President Bowen,
No.
You gotta read the staff report first, F1.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
How did he vote no? We're not gonna.
We're voting on the budget.
no. What we're doing is right now, we just put on there for to open the meeting back up.
Oh, yes, sorry. Yes, sorry. I apologize. You guys, it's a long night. Forgive me. Yes, I apologize. I would like to take my vote back, Secretary Triplett.
Okay, let's be clear. What we did, there was a motion on the floor for us to go back into open session,
Yes, I vote yes.
okay? With the adjustments to the agenda, where we will only vote on those staff report listed on the agenda, staff report SS1, staff report F1, and staff report F2.
Okay, right.
It was moved by Brother Triplett, Secretary Triplett, and supported by Trustee Rocket Martin.
Okay.
We're ready for the vote. Vice President Bowen,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Doyle,
Yes.
motion carried.
That's done. What else?
Okay, now we are into our business and finance report. Treasurer Gavin, would you like to read those?
We're actually at,
I'm sorry, teaching and learning.
Vice President?
Yes.
Were we going to agenda amend?
We just did amend it.
Okay.
That's what we just did. Agenda amendment. Yes.
Okay.
Don't give me them all.
I'll read the staff, I'll ask, Dr. Griffin, if you would be willing to read the
Yes.
staff report, please.
Yes,
Thank
of
you.
course. I will. Subject Stepping Stones contract date June 23rd, 2026. Reason for board consideration, the district seeks approval to renew its agreement with the Stepping Stones Group for special education support services for 2026-2027 school year. The district's current agreement with the Stepping Stones Group for special education support services expires on June 30th, 2026. The Special Education Department recommends renewing the agreement through June 30th, 2027. The Stepping Stones Group has partnered with Benton Harbor area schools for several years, providing speech language pathology, social work, and special education teacher services that support students with disabilities and help ensure compliance with federal and state special education requirements. Under the proposed agreement, services will continue to be billed on an hourly basis at rates of $85.50 per hour for speech language pathology services, $81.50 per hour for social work services, and $80 per hour for special education teacher services. Renewal of this agreement will assist the district in addressing staffing shortages, maintaining continuity of services for students with individualized education programs, IEPs, and ensuring students receive the specialized supports necessary to meet their educational needs and achieve academic success. Policy reference 6320 purchasing, strategic plan reference learning environment. Benton Harbor area schools will develop, maintain, and implement with fidelity, a multi-tiered system of support that enhances the culture and learning environment. Recommended action that the Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education approve the Special Education Support Services Agreement with the Stepping Stones Group for the 2026-2027 school year, with services continuing through June 30th, 2027 as presented.
Vice President Barnes, I make a motion that we support staff report SS1.
A motion has been made by Treasurer Gavin. Is there a second?
I support.
It's been seconded by Trustee Rocket. Is there any questions or comments? Therefore being none, can you please call for the vote, Secretary Triplett?
Do you know who we are at the table?
I know it's almost 10:30 and I gotta go let my dogs out.
Okay. Vice,
It's Mr. Bornstein, no, Vice President Bornstein.
President Bowens,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Doyle,
Yes.
motion carry.
Okay, that leads us to the next part of the agenda. Dr. Griffin, would you like to go to that one too, please?
Yes. Subject 2025-26, year-end budget revision, date June 23rd, 2026. Reason for board consideration, each June, school districts have an opportunity to update their revenue and expenditure projections for the fiscal year that ends on June 30th. Fact and analysis, the proposed year-end budget revision reflects updated revenue and expenditure estimates for the 2025-2026 fiscal year. This budget revision includes revisions to the general fund, the food service fund, the 2017 sinking fund, and the student activities fund. The resolution for adoption of the final 2025-2026 budget revision is provided on the attached general appropriations resolution. Policy references 6230 and 6231 recommended action that the Board of Education approves as presented the 2025-2026 fiscal year-end budget revision.
Okay, is there a staff report, motion to support staff report
Support.
F1?
Support.
It's been moved by Trustee Doyle. Is there a second?
A second.
Second by Trustee Rocket. Any questions or comments? Therefore being none, Secretary Triplett, can you call for the vote?
Vice President Bowens,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Doyle.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, we now go to staff report F2. Dr. Griffin, could you please lead us into that?
Yes, of course, staff report, subject 2026-2027 initial budget adoption, date June 23rd, 2026. Reason for board consideration, Michigan's Uniform Budgeting and Accounting Act requires the governing body of public school districts to approve the upcoming fiscal year's budget before the new fiscal year begins. Fact and analysis, board policy number 6230 states that the final adoption of the proposed annual budget shall be made by the board after completion of the public budget hearing. The budget hearing was held earlier this evening. The proposed 2026-2027 general fund budget assumes a $250 per student increase in the state foundation allowance and a continued reduction in the district's blended student enrollment. The state legislature has not yet approved the 2026-2027 State School Aid Act, so the state foundation allowance and the 2026-2027 blended membership amounts are currently unknown. The resolution for adoption of the initial 2026-2027 budget is provided on the attached general appropriations resolution. Policy references 6230 and 6231 recommended action that the Board of Education approves as presented the 2026-2027 budget.
Is there a motion to approve staff report F2?
So moved.
It's been moved by Trustee Rocket. Is there a second?
Support.
And it's been seconded by Trustee Secretary Triplett. Any questions or comments? Therefore being none, Secretary Triplett, can you call for the vote?
Vice President Bowens,
No.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Trustee Rocket,
Yes.
Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Doyle.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. That leads to our next part of our agenda. And that is board comments.
You have to go to,
I'm sorry, public comments. There's no one, is there anyone here for public comments? There is not any. That leads us to old business,
no, superintendent.
superintendent announcement, sorry. I thought we removed everything. But the
You removed everything except for,
board comments in that vote. Okay, so Dr. Griffin, can you,
I don't have any comments.
she has,
No comments at this time.
we'll go to board comments now. Thank you, Dr. Griffin. We'll start off with trustee Doyle. No comments? Trustee Rocket?
Don't forget the Summer Institute is open, MASB Summer Institute, and also the MASB Annual Leadership Conference. Both windows are open. Sign up and take some classes.
Thank you. Treasurer Gavin?
want to thank everybody who did come out. Special congratulations to Dr. Chopin and all of the staff members who are working towards their certifications. I'm really excited about all of our Grow Your Own programs. I think it's so important for us to remember that we are not a for-profit corporation. And as we listen to our finances, it's important for us to look at it with the lens of investing in our children. And so if we have staff, that's a resource worth investing in, not something that we want to get rid of unless there's somebody sitting around doing nothing. And they've eliminated themselves when they do that. But if we have bodies here who have invested in our district, we are here to service the students and to service our community. And so, unless we are violating the state required fund balance, I think it's important for us to look at ourselves as a distinction, not a corporation, not here to turn a profit, but here to invest every dollar that we can into those who are serving as a resource to our students and for their student activities and the things that they need to improve their educational experience and outcomes in Ben Harbor area schools. I know it's a paradigm shift. I know that we're getting advice from people who look at things from a corporate lens, but it's not the same. When we invest in our kids, we invest in our community, we invest in our staff, especially we create an environment in which they want to bring their children here, then that comes right back to us. And so I'm glad that we were able to pass a budget tonight, and I'm looking forward to what's next.
Thank you. Secretary Triplett?
Yes, first I would like to, again, take this opportunity to thank my colleagues who are here tonight and to wish our president the best in the work that she's leading as she's away doing some more community work. Thank her for being there as president and fighting for Ben Harbor. I also would like to acknowledge one of my colleagues who passed, who worked in Ben Harbor area school for 35 years, and that's Elizabeth Simmons. Liz and I taught at Boynton Montessori Magnet School for some years together. She was an exceptional educator. That was one classroom. If your child went into that classroom as kindergarten, they were going to come out being able to read. She worked extremely well. Education was a part of her life. She worked Sunday school department at our church at Pilgrim Rest. So I just don't want, 35 years of service and love for Ben Harbor area schools. I think that we should honor and acknowledge her. I was able to get a card from the Board of Education thanking her for her 35 years of service. I'm going to close out with this. All of us sitting at this table, for some unknown reason, people think that we are salaried and that we get paid for doing this work. This is service. And I want to thank my colleagues for answering the call to service over self-interest. We do not get one dime, one penny for any of this. And many of us have worked all day long. And we're here tonight still serving our community. So sometimes it can be thankless, but I appreciate our commitment I also would like to say it was just amazing to see the pictures of our football team on Facebook down on the turf working out. It was absolutely amazing. And again, thank you to Tracy Robinson and to Whirlpool's Day of Impact and including us in that partnership. And with that, I'll pass to our Vice President.
Thank you all for tuning in on Zoom land, coming in the audience, Dr. Chopin for enlightening us with the Swahili. I want to also thank the IT team. I came here extra early. You guys were tremendous help. Taught me how to use the copy machine. I ain't young like I used to be able to do, and was just helping me. Thank you. You know, yes, it was great. Yesterday I drove down to the tracker, the blacktop, and I got to see our kids practicing and talk to the coach and everything. And it was exciting to see that. So I'm looking good. I'll be glad when Field Strip Field is a turf field. Hint, hint. One thing I do want to say is an institution is not protected when things are easy. It is protected when times are hard. Benton Harbor area schools have survived generations of challenges because people before us understood that the district was bigger than their personal feelings, political disagreements, and individual agendas. Leaders will change. Board members will come and go. Superintendents will come and go. But the institution must stand. If we truly love Benton Harbor, then we must stop treating our schools like a battleground and start treating them like the foundation for our future. We must protect the institution. We must respect the institution. Because when the institution falls, our children pay the price. I would encourage my colleagues, if you have nothing to do on the weekend, watch The Crown. The Crown is on Netflix and it will teach you some lessons. So that's what I just want to say. It's been a long meeting. We'll have to have a special meeting soon. I'll send an email out so we can get the rest of the stuff accomplished. And thank you all. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
Second.
A motion has been moved by Secretary Triplett and second by Treasurer Gavin. Is there any questions or comments? Therefore being none, can you call for the vote, Secretary Triplett?
Vice President Bowen.
Yes.
Secretary Triplett. Yes. Treasurer Gavin.
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Doyle.
Yes.
Motion carried.
The motion has carried. The meeting has been adjourned at 10:50.